Okay, so we've got 2 lands, and we have creatures and a couple of enchantments. This is a great starting hand. Probably start with Vault Skirge, Windstar Crag. Oh, this could be a problematic matchup. If it is what I think it is, we're going to want to start with the Nettle Sentinel. Savage Swipe is going to be quite good. We'll want to play the Quirion Ranger next turn so that we can get the Elephant Guide onto the Nettle Sentinel. Okay, there's a Squadron Hawk. I think I was right not to play the Vault Skirge. Don't get too much value from hitting this with Savage Swipe, other than getting through, and we can just use Rancor to do that. So we could play Quirion Ranger Rancor. We play the Quirion Ranger post-combat, so the Nettle Sentinel will untap. Okay, that's our 3rd land for the Elephant Guide. Having Pit-Skulk here would be pretty great, but we'll play what we got. Now, unfortunately, we don't currently have any creature we can use Savage Swipe with. But if they're just putting Squadron Hawks out, that's not something we want to swipe at. Okay, so they do have 1 red mana up with 6 cards in hand. They could easily have a Lightning Bolt here. And Lightning Bolt our Nettle Sentinel with Elephant Guide on the stack would be pretty backbreaking. We would not be able to save it with Hunger of the Howl Pack. So it would be quite a risk to play the Elephant Guide right now. We could get up to 4 mana, so we could play Vault Skirge and try and put the Elephant Guide on that. But we might want to use Hunger of the Howl Pack if we can get them to use a removal spell here. It might also be that they only really had the bird to play. Let's move in for combat first and see what happens. Okay, so they seem to have nothing there. We could try to put the Elephant Guide onto... How are we going to play this out now? If they didn't have the removal spell, I really kind of want to put the Elephant Guide onto the Nettle Sentinel now. It would untap the creature, and then we could have 1 mana open. It's a shame to do this post-combat, but now that they've let the creature through, I really don't think they have the removal spell. Oh, that was a mistake. I thought that we had another land drop coming. Okay, Battle Screech. So they're going to get a ton of tokens. I'll imagine they have some way to pump up their creatures as well. If we get something we can use Savage Swipe with, Hunger the Howl Pack on the Nettle Sentinel, it's going to do a ton of damage. Okay, we get another Rancor. Okay, so we might as well play it on the Nettle Sentinel now. Okay, and I think we'll play the Vault Skirge. We still have 1 mana up for our instant. And if need be, we can use the Quirion Ranger to untap the Nettle Sentinel next turn. Seeker of the Way. Okay, that gets lifelink. That was a pretty strong downgrade as well. It happened quite a while ago, but very powerful card. I remember playing that in Standard and it being quite good. Okay, another Elephant Guide. So I'm thinking I could play Elephant Guide on the Nettle Sentinel and then Savage Swipe the Seeker of the Way. Because Savage Swipe will still work. It just won't give the +2/+2. I'm pretty sure that's the way that works. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. So the Savage Swipe to get the Seeker of the Way out of the way means they should be dead. Because they won't be able to block the 3+ damage. But they could gain life here by casting a spell. Okay, they have the Abrade. Going to kill the Quirion Ranger. Okay, we have 3 damage, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They will be able to kill the Nettle Sentinel, but I'll get 2 elephants and my Rancors back. Anyways, attack. Xaxes, fantastic. Let's go to the next game. We're definitely going to bring in Scattershot Archer. I'm wondering how exactly they're going to bring all these creatures to their advantage. They probably have I believe there's a white spell that has flashback. It gives all your creatures +2/+0, I think. Rally the townsfolk. That's probably what they're doing. I think the Longbow could also be useful. And then we're going to want to take out the Ledgewalker. They have too many creatures that can block the Ledgewalker. It's no good. River Boa, likewise, not that great. They'll have infinite X1s that can block it. We'll have to spend money to regenerate it. Vault Skirge, also not that great. They have blockers for it. So I think between the Vault Skirge and the River Boa, I'd like to keep the Hunger of the Howl pack in. I think it could be quite nice when killing tokens. We might take out one of the Savage Swipe since their tokens are fairly useless. Take out one of those and one of the Boas. We'll keep the Scourges. They might be valuable blockers if we're in a awkward position. Okay, we have too many lands. We're going to mulligan. Now we have no lands. We're going to mulligan. Okay, now we have 2 lands. That's the perfect amount. We also have Scattershot Archer. So we have to put 2 cards back. I'm thinking we'll put back the Elephant Guide and the Sentinel. We might actually keep the Elephant Guide and burn one of the emissaries. Because we want to keep these 4 cards. The 2 forests, the emissary, and the Scattershot Archer. I think we might keep the Elephant Guide then. Although it would be a very nice turn to bring down these 2 2/2s and start attacking. We'll keep these 5 here and we'll put the Elephant Guide to the bottom. Faithless Looting, not banned in Pauper. If you want a format where you can play Faithless Looting, this is the one. They've got Prismatic Strands. That's going to be pretty good for them. Fantastic card. Works well from the graveyard. Okay, we'll start with the Scattershot Archer. Might have been a bad plan to put that out first, because they have the Journey for Nowhere for it. Might have started with the Pit-Skulk and baited them out of the journey. We're going to hold the Pit-Skulk in hand. It's going to be much better to us as a 2/2. So we'll just lose the mana there. Okay, they've discarded a Palace Sentinels. I guess they're struggling for lands. Okay, so we can swipe that Inspector out of the way and get increased damage and play a Pit-Skulk. Okay, so now we get to hit them for 6 instead of just 2. And the Pit-Skulk will be a nice source of repetitive damage. They'll have a hard time blocking it. Okay, Flag Bearer. So that means we can't play any enchantments. But it doesn't block very well. And if we get another Savage Swipe, we can take it out of here. In the meantime, we'll put another creature down. We are presenting lethal. They will have to answer one of our creatures or block. Okay, they're drawing a card. Do they find a land? They do. Okay, so if we don't find Savage Swipe, they will survive another turn. Okay, we find Vines of the Vastwood instead. Vines can target the Standard Bearer, so there's nothing we can do to win this turn. We'll just have to attack and force them to block. And that means the Vines can once again target our creatures. Okay, so forgot about that. Prismatic Strands means that they take no damage. They'll be able to do that one more time. I had forgotten that it only cost 1 creature to cast to flashback. It's a very accessible spell when it's in the graveyard. I should have clicked on it when they discarded it. Forgotten just how easy it was. Okay, another Thraben Inspector, and they have the mana for the Clue as well. They can double block here, but that still seems quite bad. But the Nettle Sentinel will be staying tapped unless we get a creature spell, for example. Okay, well that's a creature spell, and it helps untap my Nettle Sentinel. Alright, we'll attack all. They'll be able to double block one of my creatures. Oh, here's Rally the Peasants. So their creatures become buff. They'll actually be able to block the Pit-Skulk now. And they can prevent the damage, which is going to take 2 of my creatures off the board. And I still cannot cast Vines of the Vastwood because of the Standard Bearer. Excellent comeback. We've still got a little bit of play here, but it looks like they might have turned the corner. I suppose I did mulligan down to 5. Another Quirion Ranger. So we can play that, which will untap our dude. And we can swing in with our 2/2/2s. They can trade a Thraben Inspector for one of them. And once we get rid of a Thraben Inspector, we can start attacking with our Quirion Rangers as well. Take 2. Alright, just for fun. Oh, that's right, we can untap the Standard Bearer. That's funny. I thought we could untap the Nettle Sentinel, but we can't. Standard Bearer prevents that. Okay, Battle Screech is a problem. They're going to have a ton of birds in the air. Tap their Standard Bearer, their 2 birds. They got 2 more birds. We really could use a Scattershot Archer now. Another Forest. Okay, we'll keep on playing for a little bit longer. See if we can draw the nuts. Scattershot Archer. If we can get a Savage Swipe, get rid of the Standard Bearer, that would also be good. Really like what the opponent has put together here. This is a pretty cool deck. Rally the Peasants is going to make these birds into lethal threats in short order. Okay, we get a Nest Invader. That untaps our Nettle Sentinel. They can block it with Thraben Inspector Bird. And just lose a bird, so it's not really worth attacking right now. We'll pass. Okay, it looks like they're attacking with 3 birds again. We'll take 3 in that case. Or maybe 9. Okay. Battle Screech makes more birds. Think that we really need a removal spell here, or the opponent's going to kill us with Rally the Peasants on their next turn. Okay, Elephant Guide isn't going to cut it. We'll go to game 3 and change our sideboard while we're at it. I'm going to bring the Savage Swipe back in. I'm going to bring in Gutshot. Take out the Vault Skirge. There is a question of if we want to bring in Gleedul Sabotage to get rid of some things. There's also the Relic of Progenitus, which could potentially cancel one of their spells. But I think we want to be a little bit more aggressive than that. So we're going to go with the Gutshot, along with the Viridian Longbow, to kill their creature. I'm going to take a look at this here. It says attach to target creature you control, so the flag bearer won't steal our longbow. Alright, so we're on the play this time. This hand looks pretty good, we'll keep. This time we'll hold the Scattershot Archer back for a moment and play it at after they've already had to use their removal on our more basic creatures. Okay, our opponent is mulliganing to 5 here, so they're going to be starting in much the same position as we were last game. Start with Nettle Sentinel. Okay, we find a third land. That is enough lands. We don't need any more than that. Okay, we'll play Burning-Tree into Nest Invader. And that's our turn. Now we'll be able to attack for 6. Putting up a lot of pressure here. Our opponent hasn't played another card yet. Elephant Guide is interesting. So if we play Elephant Guide and they have removal spell, we'll have lost a creature. We could put the Elephant Guide onto the Eldrazi spawn, as that it is the least useful card, and it wouldn't actually lose out on any damage for the turn. Okay, so they are going to respawn. We lose our Elephant Guide, but we don't lose out on damage. Okay, so they have 1 mana open and 5 cards in hand. We know one of those cards is a land. Get Hunger of the Howl pack. So we'll play the Quirion Ranger to untap our Nettle Sentinel, so we can attack for 6. Okay, and then we'll untap our Nettle Sentinel. Play a land. I think at this point we can play the Scattershot Archer. Because they really need to kill everything at this point. I have them under so much pressure. Okay, that's enough. We're going to mulligan as well. See, we got 2 lands. We have a 1-drop. This hand is great. We'll keep. Okay, our opponent has mulliganed down to 5, so we get to put our card back. I'm thinking we probably put back Hunger of the Howl pack here. Either that or Vines of Vastwood, one of the two. I'm going to put back the Hunger. I'm a big fan of Vines. Most of the decks that I've seen run 3 Vines. I'm running all 4. One of the interesting things about this card is it can be used as a counterspell against your opponent's creatures as well. If they try and, for example, put an aura onto one of their creatures, you can use the Vines of Vastwood, and then it can't be their creature can't be targeted by spells they control. Okay, so they're starting with Basic Forest. You don't see Basic Forest very often. And you definitely don't see Basic Forest no play. That is quite rare. But they did mulligan quite heavily, so they could be moving into Burning-Tree Emissary 3 times for their next turn. Okay, second Forest. We'll see what they're playing now. Nest Invader. Okay, so it's a mirror match. Okay, I think I want to go with a Ledgewalker here. So we're going to attack. Then we'll play Burning-Tree Emissary Ledgewalker. So our opponent definitely recognizes us from before. They thought we were playing mono black control. Okay, we can pass from here. Vines of Vastwood is going to be really nice with the Vault Skirge. Giving it +4/+4 is going to gain us a ton of life. Oh, but they have the Savage Swipe for it, unfortunately. They're going to be able to attack here, no problem. And we'll probably block the Eldrazi spawn. Okay, so they're using Hunger the Howl pack here. So this is a punt. Okay, we get Elephant Guide. It's going to help us out a bit, but we are still under the gun here. Next turn we're going to be able to play River Boa and hold up Regenerate, and that might let us win the race. Okay, Rancor is going to be pretty good for them. And second Rancor, very good. They're attacking for 9. We're pretty much dead. We're going to have to hold black the Ledgewalker as a blocker here, as well as the River Boa. Savage Swipe. So we can use the Vines of Vastwood to protect our River Boa. We won't be able to regenerate it at that point, but it will keep it on the board and untapped. I'm just wondering if I could use Vines of the Vastwood and target their Eldrazi spawn. Let's just be cheeky and do that anyway. We'll have fun with it. Vines of Vastwood, your Eldrazi spawn. Okay, we do survive combat here. Unless they have something spicy. And we'll end up with a 3/3 elephant. And they'll get their 2 Rancors back. Okay, Forest. Blah. We'll play the Nettle Sentinel and attack for 3. We just have to evade creatures for a couple turns here. Oh, Nest Invader, fantastic. We'll want to attack first, so the Nest Invader can untap our Nettle Sentinel. And we'll keep the Forest in hand, so it looks like we might have a card. Hey, we got there. Great game, though. Really good game. So, if we're going to be playing the mirror match, having an Epic Confrontation seems like a good idea. Gleedul Sabotage could be interesting. It doesn't work very well versus Rancor, but it would work well versus Elephant Guide. I think it's not good enough. Gutshot could hit a couple of things. Same with Viridian Longbow. What would we want to take out here? The Vault Skirge and the Ledgewalkers are both actually great in this matchup. The River Boa is going to be one of our better blockers. We might take out... Let's see here. The Vines are going to protect us from their savage swipes. And Hunger the Howl Pack's a fantastic way to get back into the game. Pit-Skulk is actually going to be one of the creatures that they will be able to block. So we'll take out 2 Pit-Skulks. Normally that's a fantastic creature, but in this matchup, we're going to be running into creatures that are potentially 4/4s and 5/5s, and we'll be able to block it. Okay, we have 2 lands, and we have creatures, so we're going to keep this. We'll start with the Vault Skirge, and hopefully our Pit-Skulk will be a 2/2. Okay, it looks like they've kept a full hand this time. Rancor's fantastic with Vault Skirge in this matchup. Because it's not just attacking for 3, it's swinging for 6. Okay, they have the Gutshot, so there's nothing we can do. Our creature dies. Did we end up bringing in Gutshot? I think we brought in a bow. And an Epic Confrontation. Oh wow, that's pretty good. That's going to be difficult to deal with. So we could play the River Boa, and it would not have access to regenerate this turn, but we would be able to start blocking with it the turn after. So we're going to want to play it out and see if we can hold on to it for a turn. If they have another Gutshot or something else to get it off the table, we're in a bit of trouble. They'll have no problem untapping their Nettle Sentinel. They can just tap their Forest, return it to their hand, and the Nettle Sentinel will untap. Look at that board from a single Forest. That's why this deck is so strong. Okay, we have no blocks. We do not want to trade our River Boa. We'll take our turn. We find Forest. Excellent. So we're going to play the Quirion Ranger. And then I think we hold up mana for Regenerate and Hunger the Howl pack. I wonder if we actually just play Pit-Skulk. It's going to be a while before it's of any value, so we're just going to play this out as a chump blocker. We'll go block, block, and then we'll use Hunger the Howl pack to grow our River Boa so that it will be able to tangle with the Nettle Sentinel. Okay, 2 mana, and they've sacrificed a creature. They're playing their own River Boa. They still haven't drawn a forest, but they want to have an untapped land for gas, or maybe just to regenerate their River Boa. Let's see how they attack. Okay. I don't think they're able to give their creature trample at instant speed, so I'd like to go block here, block here. Okay. And then I should have a moment to be able to regenerate my Boa here before damage. Okay, so they're going to flinch. What are they going to do? What horrible plans do you have for me? Hunger the Howl pack. Targeting the Nest Invader. Okay. We're going to regenerate our River Boa. And then we'll play Hunger the Howl pack on it. Okay. No creature, so we can block 2 things, and then we'll die to the 3rd thing. The most damage that we could do right now would be 5 plus 4 is 9, 10, 11. We could do 11 damage. Okay, this one's a loss. We're going to bring in the Gutshot, and we're going to take out the Pit-Skulk. Okay. Let's try again on the play. No lands here. We're going to mulligan. Okay, we have 1 land and a Quirion Ranger, so this is fine. We're going to ditch the Vines of Vastwood. We just don't have time for it. Okay. Let's hope they don't have Gutshot. They do. Unfortunate. We really need to be drawing Forest here off the top. Those Gutshots from the opponent have been doing work. But they have no play. And we get a Gutshot of our own, but no play. Okay, do they have a land? Whichever one of us gets a land first is going to have a bit of an advantage. That's them. Okay, they get their Nest Invader out. And we miss on land. We do have a play though, Nettle Sentinel. Okay, they're at land number 3. So they can play Elephant Guide. Okay, they are moving into attack here. How are we punished? We're punished if they have Vines of Vastwood, but the same applies with the Savage Swipe. We're punished if they have... Well, not if they have the... Okay, so if they have Hunger of the Howl Pack, they can sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn and make their Nest Invader a 5/5. But they could do that anyway. We wouldn't lose the Nettle Sentinel, though. Let's let them... if they hit us, though, then they can bring in a Pit-Skulk. But then we could Savage Swipe the Pit-Skulk. We'll let them hit us. Don't want to lose the Nettle Sentinel. It's our only threat right now, and we want to be able to use the Savage Swipe. Okay, they do have a Pit-Skulk. And we miss out on land again. So we could Savage Swipe the Pit-Skulk and attack for 4. We could Gutshot the Eldrazi spawn and Hunger of the Howl Pack and attack for 5. We are blown out if they have Vines of the Vastwood, if we try the Savage Swipe. That won't happen with the Hunger of the Howl Pack, but we will lose a Gutshot here for basically no value. And if they have Hunger of the Howl Pack of their own, that's a problem. So complicated. I'm going to try Savage Swipe. Okay, it looks like Hunger of the Howl Pack. They're going to make their creature a 5/5, and our 4/4 will die, but we can use Gutshot to kill the Pit-Skulk afterwards. So it won't be a total loss. Looks like a 3 of my cards for 2 of their cards. Okay, another card we cannot play. We'll pass. We would like land into... Oh, hey there. Yeah, if we could draw some lands, then we'd be getting it on. Hey, there we go. Just like you drew it up. I think that we play Nest Invader first. It'll give us an extra blocker. It'll let us activate the Hunger of the Howl Pack. Okay, so they're swinging in here. They probably have something to grow their Nest Invader. I'm thinking about just taking the damage here. But then again, I could just trade Nest Invader for whatever they have in their hand. If it's Hunger of the Howl Pack, then they're only making their creature into a 3/3 instead of a 5/5. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and we get another River Boa. So what I'm thinking is I could play Nest Invader with the Eldrazi spawn, and then use the Hunger of the Howl pack immediately to make it a 5/5. Okay, we'll pass with that. 5/5 is pretty hard for this deck to deal with. Generally, they're going to be fighting for 4. Okay. Let's slam a Rancor onto it so we can trample and start doing some damage. There are still ways for them to punish us. Okay, we'll leave the Eldrazi spawn as a chump blocker. We don't really intend on blocking with River Boa here unless we have to. We could get punished if they have Savage Swipe. Okay, and they probably have Gutshot or something here to finish it off. But that's a Gutshot that isn't going after our River Boa, and we still have Rancor. And we get Hunger of the Howl pack. Okay. Place Rancor on the Boa. And we can sacrifice the spawn, so the Hunger of the Howl pack will go off. So let's do that as well. And we'll still have a regeneration shield while having a 2-turn clock. I see you there. Do we have any Death Touchers? No. No, there's no creatures with Death Touch in our deck. There might be one available, though. I would have to do a little bit of research. We have a lot of lands, but we're going to keep this. We have a nice curve. I also like putting Elephant Guide onto the token that Nest Invader produces. Okay, so we're against Burn. Okay, this is going to be an interesting matchup. We get another forest. That's enough forests. We don't need any more. That's actually 1 forest too many. Okay, so they're playing out their creatures first. That makes sense. Unfortunately, we do not find Savage Swipe. We have another turn to find it here anyway. We might have attacked with Quirion Ranger. Haha, hot matchup. We might have attacked with Quirion Ranger last turn. Then they would have had to choose to block while we had mana open. That we might have snuck a damage in. Okay, they're set up quite nicely here for their 3rd turn. We're going to be casting Elephant Guide probably onto the Eldrazi spawn. They are tapped out, so we don't think they'll be able to kill it. I don't think they're running Gutshot in this deck. I don't think it's efficient enough. Okay, no attacks. Very good. We only have a couple of ways to gain life in the main deck, but once we go to sideboard, we have the best card in all of Magic in this matchup. We're going to be playing Weather the Storm. We have 3 of them, so it's going to be very difficult for the opponent to take games 2 and 3. Hunger the Howl pack, fantastic. Handsome asks, are these decks tiered? So there is a established level of the best decks, and Stompy is definitely among them. There is quite a bit of room for brewing, though. I would say there is still quite a lot of room. Question is, do we want to put the Elephant Guide onto the Quirion Ranger or the Spawn? I think it's actually going to be better on the Ranger. We're going to be able to do an extra damage that way. Otherwise, Quirion Ranger wouldn't be able to swing in. The other question is, do we want to put it onto the Nest Invader and make it a 5/5? I think we'll put it on the Ranger and we'll attack with both. We might be missing out on 1 point of damage here, though. Okay, and that's our turn. So next turn we can play the Hunger of the Howlpack. We can sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn to go ahead and trigger it. Our opponent is missing out on instants here. I think they'll get their second one now. So that will give their G2 runner haste. Now we do have to start worrying about our life total here. But if they do attack, now we might have to block here. Because yeah, the attack will put us to 9. So that does lose out on the utility of the Hunger of the Howlpack though. Okay, so we have land. Nest Invader can still trigger the Howlpack. And we got another land. So we don't have quite enough mana to do everything. Is Morbid one-sided? No. It just asks if any creature died. Anyways, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 13 damage total. Make some blockers. And if we can, we're going to kill their Thermo Alchemist. Instead of dealing the extra damage with a Quirion Ranger, we'd like to make 2 large creatures instead of just 1. Neither of them have trample. So if we're going to be getting damage through, we need to diversify our threats. And we're going to need to win in the next couple turns because Curse of the Pierced Heart is going to end us. We're already at a pseudo 7 from the Rift Bolt. This is going to put us to 6. The Thermo Alchemist puts us to 5. Okay, no blocks. Okay, so we'll hit them for 9. It's going to be a very close game anyway. But I think that Burn is looking pretty good at this point. We'll have to wait and see what they get off the top. Okay, 5, 4, 3. And that's another haste dude, so I think we're dead. Oh, no, they're not attacking. Okay, they're going to block. Well, I guess they just think they have the long game covered, which they probably do. So we'll attack. Let's see here. So this is 9, 10, 11. It is lethal, so they have to block something. And if they only block Nest Invader, then that's 4, 5, 6, 10 damage. So they only have to block the Nest Invader and they win. And if we don't attack, we lose. They're going to be able to activate the Thermal Alchemist, Curse of the Pierced Heart, and whatever they draw. So we're in a lose-lose situation here. We do have an out if they don't block, but they do. So do we want to use the Vines of Vastwood? We could do a total of 8 damage. I don't think it's worthwhile. There's no way to do the extra damage. We could potentially kill them on another turn. I think that there's no reason not to do it either. Maybe make them sweat a little bit. Do I have another removal spell or another pump spell? You could be dead right now. So they need a spell. Any spell. There it is. That's a spell. They just needed one. Okay, so I think that we might want to bring maybe, just maybe want to bring in the Weather the Storm. Otherwise, not too impressed by anything else. We could bring in Epic Confrontation. Gutshot is poor. Longbow's not great. Relic is poor. Gleedul Sabotage could be okay. It could hit the Curse of the Pierced Heart. As for what cards to take out, definitely not the Vines. Hunger the Howlpack seems okay. We could take out Elephant Guide. It's quite slow, and it's so easy for them to punish us. If they just lightning bolt the creature we target with Elephant Guide, they 2-for-1 us. If we can take anything else out, we can bring in a Gleedul Sabotage. We need to put more thought into Weather Storm. You could be right. I mean, it's a 2-mana spell. What value to really get out of it, you know? Like, 3 life for 2 mana? That seems, I could take out River Boa. And I can bring in a Gleedul Sabotage, just in case. But I'm not going to sub-id too many of those. We're already diluting our plan. But if we get those Weather the Storms, hey, there we go. So we win this game. We'll start with a Vault Skirge. Who needs life versus red? And they mulliganed. Okay, we're going to do a bit of work for him here. Ow. I took 2. Vault Skirge. And they play Rift Bolt. Okay, so we get another forest. We're going to play the Nest Invader. We'll attack first. Make him sweat. Okay, if we get one more hit in with a Vault Skirge, then it's done its work. Oh, they're Rift Bolting a creature. That's good news for us. And they play Thermal Alchemist. We cannot Savage Swipe it, but we can attack past it. Hey, Nest Invader. I think that their next turn is going to be one of those turns where they can do a ton of things with a ton of mana. I wouldn't mind playing Nest Invader and then holding up Weather the Storm. I'll have an extra forest in the Eldrazi spawn to be able to cast it. And then next turn we can Savage Swipe the Alchemist and attack with a Giant Invader. Oh, okay. That's not exactly what we thought was going to happen. This is fine. We just won't cast Weather the Storm yet. So we can Savage Swipe twice, but we'll only get the +2/+2 once. Hoping they don't have Lightning Bolt here. They don't. The Pinganing. The Pinganings ended. We got all these swipes. Okay, take 5. We gain 1. Vault Skirge doing work. We're back to 20. And we have Weather the Storm up if they cast 3 spells. That's 1. Looks like I'm a good 15 seconds on my messages. Do you mean how long they stay up? What does that mean? Okay, so this is the second spell. They're going to Electrickery and wipe our board. So we're going to sacrifice this for mana. And we'll Weather the Storm and gain some life. I think this is 9 life. It's pretty good. Okay, 2 creatures to rebuild. From when you send them to when they appear. Curious. I wonder why that is. I wonder which side the lag is coming from, or if that's a thing that Twitch does to prevent ghosting. Who knows? Kill the Marauders. Okay, that'll disappear after a little while. We don't have to attack into it. It'll vanish. Burning-Tree Emissary, we might as well put it out. Okay, whatever they have, they thought better of it. They're going to attack here. We'll just take the damage. Handsome's going to refresh. All right, I'll see you soon then. Skewer the critics. Oh, they're not doing damage with the skewer. They're taking out my creatures. Okay. I'll just put a Rancor on my elf and start attacking for 3. This will be a 5-turn clock, I believe. Yeah, we'll take another one from that, but we're still at 24. They're at 10. Hey, there we go. I guess the Weather the Storm worked out pretty well. Since it worked out so well the first time, we'll keep it in for the game 3. Might as well. Okay, our opponent is playing first. Our hand is okay. I don't like playing a Pit-Skulk turn 1, but we can do it. Board in 3 more Weather the Storms. Maximum Weather the Storms. Let's play 6. That's what sleeves are for. Let's go. Okay, so we don't have another 1-drop. We are going to play the Pit-Skulk on 1. And if we put a Rancor on it, they cannot block it. And we put a Rancor on it, it Savage Swipes a Thermal Alchemist quite nicely. Oh, Searing Blaze. So we're just going to lose our creature. Very efficient spell in Searing Blaze. Okay, kind of hoping I'm going to find something off the top besides a forest. We'll play Burning-Tree Emissary and throw a Rancor on top of it. Maybe we should have mulliganed to Weather the Storm. We could also Savage Swipe here, but I think that's wasteful. Okay, pass the turn. They've got a Cycle land, and they're going to use their Chain Lightning on our creature. So we'll get the Rancor back, and that's a 1 instant that's not going to our face, so that gains us 3 life. We get another Savage Swipe, but we have no way to cast it. We need some creatures. Okay, so that's pretty good. Basically Goblin Guide. Okay, Burning-Tree Emissary. So we're going to be able to kill their lava runners unless they have a lightning bolt or something for our emissary. We got to get these things off the table. They've done too much damage. Okay, and from there we'll end the turn. It's a bit of a bad trade there, 3 for 2. Keldon Marauders are going to do quite a bit of damage to us now. They're playing around Weather the Storm quite nicely. Okay, we have no creatures. There's nothing we can do here. And Forest. So we're going to pass the turn back, and we're going to dare them to finish us off. How hard is 2 colors? You can definitely do 2 colors. There are some very good 2-color decks. 3 colors? That's tough. You can maybe splash a 3rd color for 1 or 2 cards. But 2 colors, definitely. You have Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, and we don't have a turn 1, but we do have 2 Burning-Tree Emissaries, so we are going to keep. And hope we draw a Nettle Sentinel. Basic Forest, Essence Warden, that's a problem. We don't want to play against elves. Okay, we'll pass. We're 2-1. Okay, another land. So we'll play the 2 emissaries, and then we'll Savage Swipe the Priest of Titania to just get it off the board. Priest of Titania would have let them deploy basically their entire hand this turn. So being able to take care of it immediately means that we'll be able to continue playing. And then the Savage Swipe can get rid of their Vanguard here while it's tiny. And then we can Hunger the Howl Pack as well onto the... Oh, I like playing the Pit-Skulk actually. And then we can put Elephant Guide onto it. We'll see if they block. They don't. So we can play Hunger and Pit-Skulk. The question is, do we want to put the Hunger on the Pit-Skulk? It'll make it nearly unblockable. But I like the pressure from the Burning-Tree Emissary. So we're going to do this now. And then we can put the Elephant Guide onto the Pit-Skulk and make it nearly unblockable anyway. This is a pretty good start for us. Don't usually expect something to be going this well against elves. Another Vanguard. This could easily become a 2-2, but looks like they don't have another 1-mana elf. Savage Swipe again. So we have to choose between swiping the Vanguard and putting Elephant Guide on the Pit-Skulk. I do like swiping the Vanguard, getting rid of it right away, because that's a creature that can block the Pit-Skulk later. And then we can use a Savage Swipe on the Pit-Skulk, get maximum damage this turn. I think maximum damage would actually be if we put the Savage Swipe on the Burning-Tree Emissary. They're going to block the 5/5 anyway. Doesn't use our mana quite as well, but getting the Vanguard off the table I think is important enough that we're going to do that. Okay, they come down to 6 now. That was a pretty good attack. Hey, there we go. That was very lucky. So we're going to bring in Gutshot and Viridian Longbow as ways to kill their elves. We can also bring in Epic Confrontation. Gleedul Sabotage. There is a possibility that they bring in Spider Silk Armor, but I don't think they bring that in this matchup. We were killing their creatures with Savage Swipes, so I don't think they'll see the Gutshots coming necessarily. We have to take out 3 cards. We want to keep in the Vault Skirge and the Ledgewalkers for sure. The Boas are actually quite good because they have Island. So that leaves the Pit-Skulk, which are okay. Vines of Vastwood, I think, are going to be our weakest card. They don't play many removal spells, so we're going to take out Vines. We'll leave 1 in. I think 1 Vines is better than any of the other cards we have up here, except maybe Epic Confrontation. Let's bring in the other removal spell. We'll take out the final Vines. Okay, we have 2 lands. We have creatures and spells we're going to keep. Okay, we got Hunger the Howl Pack. So we're going to start with Quirion Ranger, and then we'll probably play Ledgewalker, but we might play River Boa so that we can start swiping things. Playing the River Boa early will alert them that we have it, and they might not get the island. Priest of Titania, I would really like to kill that, but I don't think I'll be able to this turn unless I get a Nettle Sentinel off the top. No such luck. So I would like to play the River Boa so I can kill things next turn. We're going to attack with the Quirion Ranger because I am willing to take that trade, but I don't want a 2-for-1 myself with a Savage Swipe to do it. Attack for 1. I didn't think they would block. We'll play Boa and pass. Did not want to reveal the Boa, but if I want to start swiping things, it's the only way. Okay, now they can make 3/4 mana. Oh, Birchlore Rangers, so now they can make an additional mana. Lead the Stampede. So how many cards do they draw with that? They draw 3 cards with Lead the Stampede. There's a Quirion Ranger. Too bad we don't have a sweeper. Electrickery would be pretty nice, but we don't have red mana. Yeah, there's no access to Sweeper. I guess we could play Sandstorm. I think it deals 1 damage to all attacking creatures. We're going to be hoping for Forest off the top, but even if we don't get it, we can make a mana with Quirion Ranger. So I suppose with a Quirion Ranger, we don't need the Forest at all. We can Savage Swipe, kill the Priest of Titania, and then we can play Rancor on the River Boa, untap our land, attack in, and then Hunger the Howl Pack. Okay, our opponent had to leave the computer for a second, so we're just going to hang tight. Opponent has a storm count of 4. Pretty sure it's going to go up to 5 here. Oh, no, they've got the Priest of Titania going again. They were able to untap it with a Quirion Ranger and just make so much more mana. So they're really going off here. Not having the Nettle Sentinel on turn 1 to Savage Swipe the Priest of Titania turn 2 is really costing us. And it looks like they have enough mana to play the Huntmaster. So this game is almost over. This is the opponent's, what, 3rd turn? Yeah, this is the opponent's 3rd turn. So, you know, they've had 3 turns. That's totally fair. Do whatever you want after 3 turns, right? So now they have 3 must-kill creatures. Timberwatch Elf, Huntmaster, and Priest of Titania. The Priest is no longer as important to kill as the Huntmaster is, and the Timberwatch Elf is. Timberwatch Elf will basically kill us next turn. They'll be able to give any creature +X/+X, where X is the number of elves, twice because of the Quirion Ranger. So we're going to go ahead and Savage Swipe that. So let's see here. We can put Rancor on the River Boa. Then we can attack. Or we could go Hunger the Howl Pack on River Boa and Savage Swipe the Huntmaster. And I think we can attack as well. Okay, let's see if they block. No blocks. Okay, we'll Hunger the Howl Pack it. And then we're going to use the other Savage Swipe to kill their Huntmaster. Take 7. And we get to keep our Boa. Okay, so we got rid of the 2 main threats there. But they still have a huge board and as much mana as they could need. So anytime they draw another Lead the Stampede, oh, Well-Wisher, that's another card we won't be able to beat. They'll just be able to gain as many life as they have elves. I think it's actually each elf on the battlefield, so they'll also gain a life for the Quirion Ranger as well. This game is well and out of hand. We need to draw a Gutshot or another Savage Swipe immediately and kill that Well-Wisher. Okay, they're out of cards in hand. So this is everything. We miss on removal spell, so that means they're going to be able to gain life every turn equal to twice the number of elves in play. We're going to concede. Okay, I don't think that any of these cards could have helped us. We're just going to resubmit. Take the play for sure. So we only have one land here. We're going to need to mulligan. We have 2 lands. We have a removal spell and creatures that work with the removal spell. We'll keep this. Do not like playing Pit-Skulk first, but we have Rancor to make it unblockable, so it's fine. We will keep, and what will we put away? Probably, it has to be one of the 3 cards on the left here. I think I'll get rid of the Nest Invader because the River Boa might be unblockable. Okay, our opponent is mulligan to 5 cards. If they have the right 5 cards, that's no problem for them. They can ramp into lead the Stampede. We'll pass. We're probably going to be playing River Boa on our turn, so that we can Savage Swipe next turn. Okay, not the most attractive elf to trade with. But let's see here. Yeah, I'll trade all the same if they want to. So we're offering the trade. Do they take it? They do. That's a surprise. Okay, there it is. We'll Burning-Tree Emissary into River Boa. And next turn we can Savage Swipe and Rancor. Okay, we can kill that. That's very good. Okay, we get land, so we can also regenerate. But that means we're out of gas. I think we want to put the Rancor onto the Boa. Take 8. Okay, this is going to be difficult pressure for them to recover from. If we're able to attack for 6 every turn, they have to basically be blocking every turn. They won't want to block with a Well-Wisher, I don't think. And another Rancor to increase the clock again. So I think they're going to want land, Essence Warden, Essence Warden, Essence Warden. No, that's not quite right. We got 2 lands, we got creatures. This hand is gas, we'll keep. And we're playing against the Biologist. And they have an Electrickery for their avatar, which is pretty cool. Okay, so pretty easy here. We just start with a Nettle Sentinel, pass. Opponent won't know yet if we're on Elves or Stompy. In my experience, both decks play the Nettle Sentinel, but that might have changed. Okay, so basic island. There's a couple decks that they could be at this point. We're going to attack and then play Nest Invader. Okay, what are they doing? Brainstorming? It is indeed Brainstorm. So Brainstorm turn 1. They are going to be a little Brainstorm locked no matter what. But they could potentially shuffle on their turn. So they might get rid of one card. In any event, let's send it back to them. If they are going to be playing a fetch land here, that's going to slow them down significantly. Don't know if I even want to swipe something as piddly as a 1/1 here. And they're holding up Counterspell, so I'll probably end up just attacking. The River Boa would be very good if it resolved. Okay, they take 4. So do we want to play into their Counterspell? I think we just pass here. If they want to play a Spellstutter Sprite, that's fine. Otherwise, they can waste their mana. Okay, there's an Evolving Wilds, so they were Brainstorm locked. And we get Quirion Ranger. So we're going to play that pre-combat to untap our Sentinel. Let's see if they counterspell it. No, that's not good enough to counterspell, so let's go ahead and attack. Okay, so do we want to use Hunger the Howlpack by sacrificing Eldrazi spawn? I don't think we need to do that yet. We would just be feeding their counterspell, so let's pass. Okay, and again, I don't want to throw my River Boa into their counterspell, so I'm just going to pass the turn here. Now, we're going to find out if they're Izzet or Dimir. They're Dimir. So their removal spells are going to be quite good versus Hunger the Howlpack, but Hunger the Howlpack is going to be quite good versus their removal spells. Okay, that's something that we can get out of the way with Savage Swipe. We'll see if they have another island to hold up Counterspell. If they don't, River Boa is coming down. Okay, so they're holding up Removal Spell. We get another Hunger the Howlpack. I'm thinking about playing the River Boa or the Savage Swipe. I could Savage Swipe Nettle Sentinel on Fairy Seer, and that will untap the Sentinel. But I can also untap the Sentinel with a Quirion Ranger. I think that's better. And then play this. Savage Swipe. Get this out of the way. We'll see if they play a counterspell or a removal spell, and then we can get the River Boa down with Regenerate up. Okay, so they have Spellstutter Sprite. That will counter the Savage Swipe. No problem. Let's attack. Don't think I want to trade the Quirion Ranger here, so we're going to hold it back. Okay, so they are blocking. They choose to double block here and think better of it. I think that they are going to double blocking the Nest Invader is better. The Nettle Sentinel can be difficult to untap. Although with a Quirion Ranger in play, not very difficult. We'll get that River Boa down. They'll have to use 2 removal spells to kill it. Because we can regenerate it once. And having the Island Walk is absolutely fantastic. They won't be able to block it. We can Hunger the Howl Packet to make it an imminent threat. Meanwhile, attacking for potentially 3 that can be blocked. So they'll need a removal spell. If they don't have a removal spell, I think we actually win. Because this is 8 damage here with a 2 Hunger of the Howl Packs, sacrificing Eldrazi spawn. But that's only if they play like, what do you call it? Augur of Bolas. Gurmag Angler. If they play something like that, we win. Keeping up removal spell is their best option, but I think we still win through removal spell because of the Vines of Vastwood. Well, they could have Snuff Out as well, so we should play around Snuff Out. We'll put a Rancor on the Nettle Sentinel, I think. And then we'll hold up Regenerate and Vines of Vastwood. Even if they counter the Rancor, we have to be wary of Snuff Out. Okay, this is not lethal currently. We could play a Hunger of the Howl Pack to make it lethal. I think I'm actually fine with putting them to 1. I think we have enough threats here that keeping the extra mana up to save the River Boa from removal spells is more important. We could have actually untapped our forest here. We clicked through too quickly. We should have untapped our Sentinel and played forest, so we would have 3 lands untapped. We want as many regenerates as possible, but with basically everything being lethal here, I don't see how they can get out of this situation. Gurmag Angler, and they have access to a blue, so they could Echoing Truth something. We are going to attack with the Eldrazi spawn this turn. That was a misclick. I was supposed to untap the Sentinel, but I forgot. Okay. Not punished. So, what are we going to do against this deck? Their graveyard is useful as far as Gurmag Angler is concerned, but they only play 2 of the card. I don't think that's as necessary as, say, an Epic Confrontation. Scattershot Archer is actually going to be very good, and Longbow might be good. As for what's bad, Ledgewalker is bad. They have flyers to block it, so we'll take that out. For the same reason, Vault Skirge is bad, again, because they have flyers to block it. Their 1/1s trade with it quite well. And it doesn't use Savage Swipe very well. We need 1 more cut. I want to keep all the Vines. They're going to be excellent in this matchup. Pit-Skulk's going to be excellent in this matchup. So we could take out maybe a Hunger of the Howl Pack. I've never been very impressed with that card. Maybe I just don't use it properly. All right, so we've got 60 cards. I'm pretty happy with what's going on here. Let's go ahead and jump into the match. So this is game 2 of match 5. Just noticing something. I don't see any of the levels for my microphone on my Twitch studio. That used to be something that was on there. Just an easy way for me to tell if the microphone was working. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll have to see if I can put that onto the interface for me. Anyway, so we've got creatures and lands. We have Quirion Ranger to help us recover from a 1-land hand. Thanks, Handsome. Thanks for confirming that. So we're going to start with Quirion Ranger. Even though it's not the most aggressive card, we do not want it getting Spell Stutter sprited. If we draw Forest, we'll play Nettle Sentinel instead. Okay, so the Biologist is mulliganing. They've gone down to 6 so far. Yeah, sorry about that. Don't really know what's causing that. I'll do a little bit of research later, see if I can see what's going on. But I don't think that I put the lag on my Twitch, because I know that there's a way that you can delay your broadcast, but I don't think I did that. Okay, do we draw Forest? We don't, so we'll play Quirion Ranger first. This will allow us to have access to 2 mana on our turn, so we can play 2 Nettle Sentinels. Or if they tap out, we can play... I don't want to play River Boa until we have enough mana to regenerate it. It's clearly Pauper's fault. This thing doesn't happen when we're playing Shadow. They are attacking, that makes sense. Let's see if we draw land. We don't. Okay, so they have an Augur of Bolas out. One of the advantages of playing Nest Invader is it will give us an extra mana. So I might want to play Nest Invader instead of the 2 Sentinels. But I like going wide here. Let's play the Sentinels out. Okay, no attacks. We're not going to suicide our Ranger. It's one of the most important cards on the board for us right now. Hey, that's why you're here, right? You gotta tell me about all the bad choices that I make. And I do make a lot. Okay, Evolving Wilds, that gets them their Swamp. So Snuff Out is on the menu. They can snuff out our Quirion Ranger right now, and they do. I think that's a pretty good play from my opponent. Okay, they're attacking. So if we get land, we play Nest Invader, and if we don't, we're probably going to Pit-Skulk. We get Longbow. Longbow's interesting, but it costs 3 mana to equip, so we're not even close to playing it. We're going to attack with all our creatures, and we'll cast Pit-Skulk, which will untap them. And Pit-Skulk will be a great attacker. They'll have a hard time blocking it. Yeah, that's a classic Cooper mistake right there. Keeping a 1-land hand and never drawing another land. Classic Cooper. We still have time. If we draw a land next turn, we can play Nest Invader. And Nest Invader will make it easier to play the River Boa. We can sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn to keep an extra land open for regenerate. We are going to have to be careful, though. They do have a fairy on board. Oh, hey. Thanks for the follow, Twizzla. Okay, we found the land. All right. Let's bring down the house. So they can counter our Nest Invader. But it's better they counter the Nest Invader than the River Boa. We'll go ahead and attack first. So yeah, there's the double block. We get to kill their fairy. That's fantastic. That means they won't be able to kill or counter the Nest Invader. So I'm fine with trading a Nettle Sentinel for that. Fantastic. Okay, definitely the Nest Invader. Okay, we can bring the Viridian Longbow down at this point, but I'd rather keep the Eldrazi spawn for potential River Boa next turn. We are going to want to be very careful. We'll be playing around Counterspell. If they have 2 blue up, we will not be playing River Boa. We'll probably play another Nest Invader if that's the case. Okay, so they've tapped 2 islands. They're holding up removal spell. Otherwise, they would have tapped the swamp for the auger. They've found cast down. They'll probably target the Pit-Skulk with it. Oh, and they have another island, so they're holding up counterspell as well. Is there any synergy with Nettle? Not much so anymore. No, mostly Nettle Sentinel is just a 2/2 for 1. Quirion Ranger is interesting. That's almost a free card. Do we play it now, or do we play it post-combat? I think we play it post-combat. So we're just going to swing in with everything here. That's a little bit risky. Having 2 Augur of Bolas means that they're going to be able to double block 1 creature and kill it. But that means the other creatures get through. So we would do potentially 2 damage and eat a removal spell and then be able to play River Boa. I think that's worthwhile. We're going to get aggressive here so that they play out their hand. I don't think they're going to want to take 4 damage and go to 6. I think they're double block Nest Invader and use a removal spell on Pit-Skulk. No! No removal spell. They're holding up counterspell. Okay. Let's start with Quirion Ranger then. Okay, Ranger resolves. In that case, we'll untap the Pit-Skulk, return a land, play a land, and play Nest Invader. Again, they can't spell stutter this. They'll have to counterspell it if they want to, but I don't think that's worth a counterspell, and now we've gone wide. We can put the Longbow in play by sacking a spawn, but I don't think it's worthwhile. Let's hold on to the mana for another turn, so we can play Elephant Guide or River Boa. Elephant Guide, I'm sure, will warrant a counterspell, and then we can play River Boa afterwards. If we get a land, we can even save it from removal spell. Well, I suppose we have a land anyway with Quirion Ranger. Let's count our mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can't keep the River Boa with Regenerate if we want to cast Elephant Guide. But I think we're doing pretty well regardless here. We have a huge board. Okay, we get land. So we might play Elephant Guide here to draw out a counterspell. We could put Elephant Guide on Eldrazi spawn. And then they would have to either play counterspell or waste a removal spell on a spawn. Okay, so they are going to use the removal spell. We'll make a mana. It says get affiliated now is in chat. Huh, that's strange. I don't think I qualify for getting affiliated. I wonder what that's about, because I don't see it. Oh, right. We already played a land this turn. That's my bad. Okay. It happens sometimes. Making mistakes with Mr. Cooper. I guess we could have played the Longbow there. Double punt. But Longbow would have played into Spellstutter Sprite, so let's not play into that anyway. Okay, they're blocking one each, so they're only going to take two. And we'll pass. Okay, so they're tapping Swamp. Okay, they have Gurmag Angler. That will block Pit-Skulk. And they have mana open for counter spells. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. They have 3 blockers. And we got Scattershot Archer. That's an interesting one. Okay. We'll start by paying a mana and untapping Nettle Sentinel. Then we'll use that mana for, I think, a Longbow. See if that merits a Sprite. It does. Okay, they have 1 card left in hand. So it's in between River Boa and Scattershot Archer. I can sacrifice the Spawn to keep a green mana open to regenerate the Boa, so we'll try that. It works. Okay. So we want to attack all. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers, 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. So they can block, 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 block. Okay, our attacks are no good. So we do not attack, and we hope River Boa can finish the game. We have 1 regenerate up, and they have 2 cards in hand. So we need to evade cast down. Okay, they're tapping blue mana here. Okay, that's a second angler. That's no problem. They're tapped out. So if we get... I guess they could have cast down in hand, which would be pretty good. Unfortunately, we do not get a pump spell. So we're just going to attack with River Boa. Okay, of course, they can't play cast down. They're at 4 life. Play Scattershot Archer. And we have 2 regenerations up, so we'll pass. This should be our game. Play a land and attack for 2. If they don't have removal spell, they're dead. Hey, we got there. Okay, so that's a 4-1. 4-1 with Stompy. Fantastic. Pretty happy about that. Okay, we're going to take one last quick look at the deck here. Let me just change the screen. Huh. Didn't change, did it? Too bad they didn't have Ambush Viper. Okay. No, I sell my chests. Keep those for tickets so that I can play more Magic. Won 5 chests there, so that's going to be enough for another league on top of getting the return of the points. So basically I doubled my money. Anyways, if you're just joining us now, we're winding down. We just finished a league. We finished 4-1, and our one loss was to Burn. Normally Burn's pretty easy with the Weather the Storm, but we didn't draw any that this time. That's fine. If you're looking for an aggressive, fast-moving option in Pauper, if you're looking for a deck where you get to play creatures and turn them sideways, and if you're looking for a deck where you're going to be spending a lot of time thinking about lines and trying to find the best way to do something, the best way to spend turns 1, 2, and 3, then this is a really good option. This is a fairly basic list. There's a couple things you can change, but we couldn't weather that storm. No, we couldn't. I would definitely recommend this deck if you're starting out in Pauper. This is the deck that I started out with in Pauper when I started playing on Moto for the first time. Anyways, you can also find my content on YouTube. So if you would like to go back and check out the rest of this league, it'll be up tonight. And I have plenty of other examples of Pauper leagues and Modern leagues that you can watch on there. I'll be back tomorrow playing Death Shadow. Otherwise, have a great day and hope to see you again soon.